Between July 1920 and July 1922, 453 people were killed in Belfast, nearly two-thirds of them Catholic. Hundreds of Catholic families fled their homes. Over 10,000 Catholics lost their jobs, and 500 Catholic businesses were wrecked. It was a pogrom. Clashes had occurred on the same streets, along the same divide between Catholic and Protestant as in the 19th century, and would again later in the 20th century.
Undoubtedly, there were attacks from the Catholic side directed towards the Protestants. But I think that the main reason for the Protestant attacks in the Catholic ghettos was simply because of the fact that most Catholics were seen to be people who gave their allegiance to the Parliament of Southern Ireland and who did not give their allegiance to the new state of Northern Ireland. As well as that, we still had the IRA in existence. Indeed, the IRA at that time were still in control of many of the border areas. And therefore the Protestants felt and believed that the best way to deal with the situation was to go into the ghetto areas and root them out.
It was a pogrom which was endorsed by the leaders of the Unionist Party who were to become the government of the new state, which was winked at by the police force, if not participated in by sections of what was to be the new police force, the Special Constabulary. They were known to be involved in reprisal killings and so on. And they then, in turn, both became the reserve force of the government in successive years, but they also formed most of the backbone of the full-time police force.
From the beginning, the police force in Northern Ireland was armed and predominantly Protestant. To back them up, a special constabulary was formed, the B Specials, as these part-time police were known. They were also armed and entirely Protestant. By 1922, nearly 1 in 5 of the adult male Protestant population was in the B Specials. They were bolstered by the Special Powers Act, which empowered the Minister of Home Affairs to take all such steps and issue all such orders as may be necessary for preserving peace and maintaining order. In other words, he could do anything at all in the name of law and order, be it banning political parties and newspapers, prescribing processions and demonstrations, destroying property, arresting without warrant, or imprisoning without trial.
The reason why we had this repressive legislation, which was seen to be against the minority, and undoubtedly that's where it was directed, was against the minority, was quite simply because of the fact that the minority could not be trusted. This, in the minds of the Unionists, was the basic problem, that the Catholic population were people who gave their allegiance to a foreign parliament, who were a threat to the state of Northern Ireland, and therefore the Unionist politicians and the Unionist Parliament felt that they had to have powers and machinery to destroy any threat to the state.
The effect in the minority community was to create a terrible feeling of defeatism, that it was impossible to do anything by political means against the state, that every avenue of change was closed because it could be made illegal under the Special Powers Act. And that led in the majority of the population to a heavy feeling of defeatism. In a minority, it turned them towards violence as the only possible road. If all constitutional activity was illegal, well, there was no resort left but violence.
Omagh, September 1924. In a nationalist area, Protestant Unionists demonstrated their loyalty to the United Kingdom, but their government had already acted against the rebel councils. Some were suspended, proportional representation was abolished, and the electoral arrangements juggled, so that where there were Catholic majorities, Protestant councils would be returned. Of the 25 nationalist councils of 1921, only 2 remained by 1925. The Protestant state was secure. Its loyalty is clear. Lord Craigavon, Prime Minister of Northern Ireland for 20 years.
We are part of Great Britain. I think I am right in saying we are the most loyal part of Great Britain. And all Ulster men rejoice in the close relationship between the mother country and ourselves.